Well, it's come to this. I've never done a ranking video quite like this one.
This is going to be a good one, that's for sure.
Well,
oh, God.
if you clicked on this, you saw the title, so you know what we're doing. Let's rank those Sharknado movies. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
And we got this movie Geostorm coming out here. And Geostorm is either going to be really dumb or it's going to be really fun.
I'm leaning towards the dumb side, but still ain't gonna stop me from watching it.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. So I just did a theological analysis on Twister, a disaster movie that I thought was really fun. And now we are going to rank probably the most epic made-for-TV disaster franchise ever made that is dumb, but also so dumb it crosses the line to fun.
Yeah. And it's been like 5 years. Like, that's how dumb but awesome it is.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I went and watched the trailer for the first one again. It said 2013. I was like, seriously? That's how long you and I have been doing Sharknado parties and watching this?
I just stumbled across it one day watching a cheesy sci-fi movie because I like to watch cheesy sci-fi movies, and I was like, what is Sharknado? It was like, and I saw the preview for it. I was like, oh, I'm watching this. I'm not leaving this couch right now, man. It was great.
Now, if only they would continue the Lava Lantula franchise. That one has potential.
That would make my life.
That would be
icing
amazing
on the cake.
I'd love to help you, but I got shark problems right now.
I guess without further ado, we should jump right into our ranking. So let's begin with your number 5.
Number 5 for me is The Fourth Awakens.
The Fourth Awakens.
I liked it a lot, but it was getting a little weird.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all
did
kind
get
of weird.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that is the stripper, the Chippendale stripper, hip thrust the shark, and I was like, okay, you guys got me back in on this one, but
oh man,
The Fourth Awakens was my fifth favorite one.
Yeah, I liked The Fourth Awakens. I'll have more to say on it when I get to it on my list, because my number 5 is actually Sharknado 2. Now, I liked Sharknado 2, but I think it makes my number 5 because when I was like just kind of cold looking back on these movies before I went through and rewatched all the trailers and stuff, there's not very many things that jump out at me from Sharknado 2. I mean, him at the end in New York, riding through the clouds on a shark, that definitely stands out to me.
Yeah.
Tara Reid getting her hand bit off and Will Wheaton not getting one single line and being eaten by a shark at the beginning. Few little things like that stand out to me. But when you compare all the greatness and weirdness and epicness that's in all of these movies, I just feel like Sharknado 2 doesn't stand out to me as much as the other ones.
Yes. They did take a step back with Sharknado 2. I felt like they went... Yeah. After 3, they went in a different direction.
Yeah, 3 was definitely... Yeah.
My number 4 is Sharknado 2.
This is a fascinating way our countdowns are going here.
So I like that they had Vivica A. Fox in it, because I was like, whatever happened to her? It's like, oh God, she looks like she's been through some stuff. You know, it's like, and she looks all gangster in this one, and then she like sacrifices herself to like, no spoiler alert, because if you haven't watched it, you're crazy. It's been like 4 years. And just like the way she sacrifices herself, she's like getting electrocuted and stuff.
Oh, I forgot about her electrocution.
But my favorite part of that one was where he proposes to his girl, reaches in the shark, pulls out the ring, and proposes to her.
I did forget about that.
And when Tara Reid got her hand bit off, because that triggered how she was going to scream for the rest of the Sharknado franchise. It's the same scream.
Gosh. Every time Tara Reid screams, they just took that recording of her from Sharknado 2, and then I think she just kind of mouths it in all the other movies, and then they throw in that scream. And it is the most irritating thing.
It sounds like a 60-year-old smoker.
Yes! It really
it's all raspy and old. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, Tara Reid is not that old, but...
No, but she looks old.
Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. So my number 4 is Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens. Like, we have literally kind of just flip-flopped our top ones. I did like Sharknado 4, better than Sharknado 2 because there are things that just really stand out to me. Like Tara Reid being transformed into Iron Woman. The fact that she is basically RoboCop or Cyborg. That, I mean, she basically becomes a superhero.
She even makes reference to that. She's like, you like Iron Man? Well, I'm his wife. And then she picks up a car. I was like, whoa,
Yes.
okay.
But the other interesting thing about Sharknado 4 is her coma. And like, what was she? Oh no, she was in a coma for like a year. And then her dad, Gary Busey, rebuilds her into a cyborg. And she is in the secret base for like 4 years. And
Of course her dad's Gary Busey, right? It's like, come on.
I mean, would it be Sharknado without something crazy like Gary Busey being April's father? Yeah. So for me, things like Gary Busey, Moorhoff, and things like that make Sharknado 4 more standing out than Sharknado 2. So that's higher on my list. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Global Swarming, Sharknado 5.
Oh man, that's your number 3.
That is number 3.
Oh man.
And I was on the fence. Is it my number 5 or is it my number 3? And I had to weigh it in. But the things that made it my number 5 was the Godzilla reference.
Sharkzilla. Yes, that was
And
epic.
everybody pretty much freaking died. I love it. Like, it's its own apocalypse going on
Yep.
there. And the very end, Dolph Lundgren just shows up out of nowhere. It's like, oh my gosh, he's here. And
I couldn't believe it. I'm just, and I said this while we were watching it. It's just like, he literally, Dolph Lundgren, just did a whole season of Arrow, and must have just, when that's over, yeah, I'll go do the Sharknado
he's
thing.
like, what the heck? He's all, just walk next door to the studio next door and keep filming, right? He's like, what is this gonna cost me? $20? You know?
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked that it was Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was Gary Busey because of his hair. And then when he took off the goggles, I was like, oh my gosh, that's freaking He-Man. I have more to say on Sharknado 5, but not yet. 'Cause
Okay.
it's a lot later on my countdown. My number 3, the first Sharknado.
Oh, right there, right to the chest, 2 to the chest. Oh my God.
And I'm sorry, I know it's the one that started it all, and for that, it deserves a place of honor, but, I mean, just the other 2 that are going to be on my list, and you do some math, you figure out which 2 are left, those things just had standout things taking it to the next level that I just were so much more crazy, but at the same time, that first Sharknado movie, I remember coming over to your place, I had no idea what I was in for. But see, Sharknado 1 has some really weird dynamics. What's the name? Nova. So Nova and Finn are dating at the beginning of Sharknado 5. One. They're dating at the beginning of Sharknado 1.
I don't really know what's going on, but there's definitely some issues there.
Then
Like, there's some
he
flirting
reconnects
going
with
on.
his ex-wife April and starts to fall in love with her again. And Nova meets Finn's oldest son and starts to fall in love with him. And that, no matter how you swing that,
It's dirty.
that's just weird.
It's
It's
dirty.
just so weird.
It's like, yeah, your dad's hot. You're hot.
But
Let me weigh my options. Really? Like, hey, leave it to sci-fi.
But I think my favorite part of Sharknado 1 is just that scene where the shark is coming at Finn at the very end. He cranks up that chainsaw and takes that flying leap and he goes right into the shark, right?
Yes.
And he cuts it from the inside and brings
Slices
out
right
Nova
through.
and brings out his son, and they're like alive after being eaten in a plane, shooting stuff. Oh my gosh.
I forgot
was-
about that part. She falls off the plane. Ah! Whoa! I was like, oh, okay. She's
And that's
gone.
the first time we thought Nova was dead in
Yeah.
this series. But no,
First
she
of
was
several.
somehow Sharknado sharks have the ability to swallow people whole.
Yes, and eat birds. That's the difference between.
Yeah, they live in the clouds, surviving off of birds.
That's what we found out in the third one.
Oh my gosh.
We are heading to number 2.
Okay, what's your number 2?
Speaking of number 2 is the bird-eating sharks, Sharknado 3.
Nice.
I like that one the second best for a couple reasons. They were super weird with it. Like, all of a sudden, you know, they had this, like, Sharknado army,
Yep.
and they had Sharknado tracking systems. And then it wasn't the East Coast anymore. It was the Feast Coast.
Yes, the Feast Coast.
And my second all-time favorite scene from the whole Sharknado franchise was Frankie Muniz when he was all he had to do was hit the button. Gets an arm bit off.
And then the shark
And
gets
then,
his arm.
then his leg, and then his other leg, and he's like crawling.
And
And then he gets his other arm bit
crawling,
off.
and he's trying to hit
he's
the
just,
button.
He's just like, no arms, no legs, and that's how he led a nation, you know? Michael Scott.
He had no arms or legs. He couldn't see, hear, or speak. This is how we led a nation.
Well, you and I have this in common. Sharknado 3 is my number 2 as well.
Twins!
Yes!
Yeah!
Sharknado 3 was just awesome, and I was going to cite all that stuff. Malcolm in the Middle, like that scene where he's eaten limb by limb is just incredible.
It's classic.
Yes, and then my favorite part is the reveal that the Hoff is Finn's dad.
Sharks in
That
space.
is, oh my gosh. Just the line.
Sharks in space!
That was so epic. And then you have a megalodon swimming, I kid you not, swimming through outer space. So what does Finn do? He uses his lightsaber chainsaw, you can't make this up, and flies into the megalodon's mouth because April, who is 9 months pregnant with their kid that they named Gil. The dad's name is Finn, they named their child Gil. There's a definite theme here.
Yeah.
And he goes and they ride the megalodon through the atmosphere of the Earth, shoot parachutes out of its back, and land the megalodon, and somehow April gives birth to Gil inside the shark and comes out of the shark skinny.
I love that part.
I do. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Especially when you see the little chainsaw come up and you're like, oh, she survived, and you see this little
This
baby hand, like,
come out.
it's all like, what the heck is happening here? I was like, oh, she gave birth. That was so weird, but it was hilarious.
I think one of my other favorite parts there is the space debris landing on April, and then it ends and it says, let us know on Twitter if she lives or dies.
And the best part was I voted she dies because I was so annoyed by her.
I was annoyed, but I just felt like she needed some work. I felt like the actress needed Tara Reid. I just felt like I haven't seen her too many other things. She needs the work, so I voted she lived.
That was the best excuse ever, too, when I asked her, I was like, who'd you vote for, y'all? I voted she lived because she looks like she needs the work. I was like, well, I guess you're right there because she looks pretty homeless. But, oh man, that one was a good one. The ending was hilarious.
Yep.
And I love how they left it to the fans.
And somehow the Hoff was on the moon. It ends with him on the moon saluting the Earth. And then somehow he survives on the moon to be picked up on the fourth one by that whatever.
By Tommy Davidson
there
from
you
In
go.
Living Color.
Yes.
Number one, obviously, Sharknado. Just straight up Sharknado. So the whole theory behind it was hilarious because, yeah, it's far-fetched, but it's like, you know, one of those scenarios you tell a kid, what if it flooded and sharks came and tornadoes came? And like, but they made it a reality, and it's like, how would that happen? You're like, global warming created, you know, these hurricanes, the first hurricane
to hit California. Yep.
And it made warmer water, so the sharks traveled up. So the place is flooded, but now the temperature's cooling, which is creating tornadoes. So they made it an interesting little theory.
It was kind of interesting, wasn't it? I think I remember us Google searching this after it was over.
Yeah.
Just to see, could that happen?
And they have my absolute favorite scene in all the Sharknado franchise. My favorite scene / phrase in Sharknado franchise is when they go to his ex's house.
Yes.
And says, we need to go. And she's like, no. And then the new husband comes in. No, I'm the man now. I take care of him. You had your chance. And then the shark just starts chomping on him. Oh! And then Finn's best friend drops a period joke. He goes, it looks like it's that time of the month. And I was like,
my God.
Oh my God. He's like, he did not just say that. I remember I made my mom watch this. She calls me on the phone and goes, did he just drop a minstrel joke? I was like, yes, he did. And she's like, this movie's dumb. But I was in tears. I was like, he did it. It's in the middle of someone dying. Yeah, you might be mad at him, but you don't want to see. That's a horrible moment in life.
Yeah, I know.
And dude just got chomped, and he's like, looks like it's that time of the month. You know, I was like, oh.
Didn't we rewind it when he said that?
Several times.
Like you, me, and Steve were just sitting there hanging. And Steve is in one of my videos too. I'll put the link up so you can check it out. But you, me, and Steve were just sitting there, and I think we just froze because he said that joke, and we had to rewind it.
Dropped a period joke on the very first Sharknado. I was locked for life. I will watch every Sharknado movie because of that.
Oh, man.
Nothing is off topic for Sharknado.
There it is.
They even went political. They're trying to make America great again.
Yes, they had to
the
drop
world
those lines.
again. I was like,
oh my gosh. Ah, and that brings me to my number one, the most recent one, Sharknado 5, Global Swarming. And I had to pick this one as my number one because it opened with Indiana Jones, man. They were going through this shark cave underneath Stonehenge to find this relic of this shark goddess or shark god or something, this fin with a gem in it. And while they're under there, they're going through all the same traps that are in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And the skeleton bones they find there are Indiana Jones. It's Bones wearing the Indiana Jones hat with the Indiana Jones bullwhip. And I literally had a meltdown. I was like, no!
The whole time I'm thinking, if he would have just listened to Short Round,
Oh my
and they would have left the country, they would have been all right.
They would have been all right. No.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones. Not no more. He's gone.
No.
He's dead.
Short Round is fine. Dr. Jones was killed in a Sharknado incident.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Even that blonde girl he dated is probably fine. But
Oh gosh.
this guy, man.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. We now know the end of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like, when they make that 5th one now, Disney, you have a responsibility for continuity's sake to have him be looking for the fin of this Sharknado goddess underneath the hills of Stonehenge.
You already tried to find and found the crystal little alien skull.
That's right.
Might as well find that shark fin.
Yes. And then it just went on from there. Like, my gosh. We now know why the pyramids were created.
Yeah.
They were created by the ancients as a defense mechanism to shut down the storm system that produces the sharks. And then somehow it broke and made all the storms worse. I kind of failed to understand how that worked, but yeah.
And so the whole time, I and Marvel had it wrong.
Yeah.
I thought the Ancient One himself, in Sabanur, Apocalypse, built the pyramids.
Yeah.
He did not.
No. It was... Well, maybe in Sabanor had to deal with the Sharknado.
Maybe he put them together. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he
created
yeah,
that.
there's no one that says that he didn't create it, but
Yeah.
maybe he created it because this is how he's gonna.
He did have alien technology,
It
so-
did, yeah.
yeah.
So alien technology defeats the sharks, and
Yeah.
so there we go. And
Well, thank you, Apocalypse.
yes,
for
thank
once.
you, Apocalypse. You did good. You saved
For
us
once.
from a Sharknado. Well, he sort of saved us from a Sharknado.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, I love that the Sharknado was somehow a portal.
Yes.
It's like the little purple lightning within a Sharknado is a portal, and they traveled the world that way, and Gil got caught in it, was traveling from one place to the other.
And oh boy, you know what happens when you open portals, man.
Oh boy.
All kinds of bad stuff happens.
Yep.
So I have no idea what to expect.
This is where
now.
Sharkzilla comes from.
Sharkzilla
and,
came from the portal. Oh boy.
Oh, Sharkzilla was amazing. That it hit Tokyo.
It did. It had to hit Tokyo.
Yes, of all the
It wouldn't have been the
places.
same if it hit like Los Angeles.
I think my favorite part here is when the whole world dies except for Finn. Everybody's dead, and Finn is the only human being left alive.
And he looks like
Dolph,
a Sith Lord.
He
He's
does
just
look like
walking
a
around.
Sith Lord, and he's walking around with like a bag, and in the bag is April's head because her cyborg body blew up, leaving just her head because she turned into the Phoenix.
Yes. It turned into Dark Phoenix there and just went and destroyed everything.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
boy, Marvel's not going to be happy about that.
But
Well, at least
then
the Fox side of Marvel.
Gil comes back as an adult, played by Dolph Lundgren, who harnessed the energy of the Sharknado to travel through time
did.
with his own flux capacitor
They
inside
hired
the car.
not only the Russian from Rocky, but an expendable.
And he was the Russian on Arrow, too.
He was the Russian on Arrow. Man, I am looking forward to the next one because where are they going to go from here?
Back to
for
the Future,
real.
man. It said
real.
to be continued, and Back to the Future font. They have a flux capacitor powered by Sharknado lightning. It's
And-
time travel, baby. We're going back to Sharknado 1 and Sharknado 6.
And that's my theory. They're gonna go back to the very first scene.
They are.
Back in the bar, but Peter McAllister's dad won't be there, unfortunately. Rest in peace. But I have a feeling it's gonna start back up at the bar.
I think so, too.
But
I
this
think that's
time-
where we're going all the way back.
Yeah, but this time there will be no NATOs. And I think he's gonna have to sacrifice everything. Meaning his son will no longer exist, Gil,
Oh.
and he will no longer be married. Nova will be happy though, because
Yeah, Nova will be
that girl's
happy.
been trying to get at him the whole time.
Oh, man. Well, I'm...
I'm just
Wow.
saying.
Oh.
That girl don't know how to chill out. at
No,
all.
she does not.
No.
Not at all. No. Oh, man. Well, there it is. Our ranking of Sharknado. What is your ranking of the 5 Sharknado movies that currently exist? Let us know in the comments. While you're there, let us know how excited you are for Geostorm. Are you excited even a little bit? Are you going to go see it? Let us know that. While you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Next to that button is this bell. Click it so you're notified the moment I drop new videos. Check out my other ranking videos, theological analyses, movie reviews, trailer reactions, all kinds of other great stuff. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
Thank you for checking out Durbania.